Edmonton Oilers will host the Nashville Predators down at Rogers Place tonight for the first meeting between the two teams this season. Last year, you might ask? Well, the Oils swept them at 3-0, outscoring them 12-5. Hoping to see some more of that. Hoping to see the mayor of Smashville, Leon Draisaitl, live up to his name against a Predators team that is playing their third and final game of a Western road trip. Preds Oilers should be a good one. But hello, what up, and welcome to Pregaming with Bordzy, brought to you by Bet365, 19 plus. Please play responsibly. Download the app today, because whatever the moment,
it's never ordinary.
Messed it up, take two. Because whatever the moment,
it's never ordinary.
We're like a cult for Bet365. One of us. Google gobble. But hello, what up? Joined by Oilersnation writer, news director, man of so many different hats, Zach Laing, joining us back in studio for the first time in weeks. Actually, pre-gaming in studio for the first time in what feels like months. I could say that. We're not down at Dog Patch this evening. Still going to have a good one. Zachary, give me a vibe check, brother.
Vibes are high, man.
Yeah,
Nashville's coming to town. This is always a fun one whenever the Oilers play the Predators, right? Obviously, you got the narrative about Leon Draisaitl and everything like that. There's another narrative in this game, too. It's the Reed Schaefer revenge game, right?
Spencer Stastny revenge game.
Oh.
So many things to bet on. So little time. Let's get caught up into the chat. We got a couple people. Austin, the king of the first one. Austin, you got notifications on, right? How are you doing this? I assume that's the only way. Or he's just hitting refresh every 10 minutes.
Fastest kid alive.
He's the fastest kid alive. Shout out Michael Sarah. He says, all right, Bordzy, let's fire up this fucking band, brother. The rest of you fantastic beauties, check your vibes. Vibes are good. Chill your bevies. It's time to lock, load, and get her done, son. And then Dre is in, who we'll mention in just a second. He says, let's fucking go, boys. Mayor of Smashville, ready to roll tonight. Nathan's in. Sucks for him. He says, God damn it, a dump truck rolled over on the highway. Looks like I'm watching the game from my car. Well, at least you can... It sounds like a positive sound for a negative situation, but I like the spin that Brett gave it. Well, Nathan, stay warm. You can always pregame with the boys. You can be in the Oilersnation After Dark chat during the game. But yeah, brother, that sucks. Roads, residential roads in Edmonton. I just saw a post on Yegwave. It is crazy in some areas. I live on a bus route, so my street outside my house does get plowed pretty frequently. I'm blessed. Is it ass around your apartment?
Oh, buddy, it's so bad. And
What's the back alley like?
I don't even go there. Like, I drive a little Nissan Altima, right? Like, I'm a pretty good driver, no big deal or anything like that. And I got the winter tires on, so I'm always good on that front. Really quick, hilarious story that I'm sure the chat will love. So a couple nights ago, about a week ago, my car battery died, right? And car's in the parkade at the building that I live in, downtown Edmonton. So, you do what you do, right? You call the good folks at AMA.
I'm a member. I'm a loyal member.
Shout out to AMA, right? And, a couple hours later, a kind gentleman arrives in his pickup truck and he says, hey, what's the clearance to the parkade? I said, you know what? I'm not 100% sure off the top of my head, but he just decides to give her. I'm like, oh, okay, sick. Like, he must be good. And he gets down and there's like the little bumper sign where it's like clearance 6'2", and the guy hits it. And I'm like, oh boy. Okay, well, no big deal, right? He'll just back out. Nope. He got stuck on the ramp down into the parkade. So he spun his tires for like 20 minutes, couldn't get himself unstuck, had to call AMA for AMA. And then his buddy shows up and they hook up a tow rope and takes him another 10 or 15 minutes to get the truck out. Needless to say, I had to spend $300 on a new battery that night, but at least I had some really good entertainment that night. But the roads are an absolute just disaster around my place.
I saw that you had kind of mentioned this on your story on Twitter and whatnot. Zach, I love you. I support you. I was laughing my ass off.
Hilarious.
At the situation. I thought objectively, that is hilarious. And the idea that somebody's actually like, on the side of the highway, hit the ditch and they're like, actually, we're down a truck right now because he's got to go get another one out of an apartment clearance. But I digress. Somebody else, Alex, said, the roads suck in all capitals. And Cheeks Clap is in the lineup. He says, I'm back in the lineup, motherfuckers. Cup, yeah.
Cup, yeah.
Cap, yeah. You see what I did there? You see what I did there? Reckitt's in. He says ginger beef, referencing one Reed Schaefer. I know Wanye, one of our fearless leaders here at Oilers Nation. He might be one of the few people with a Reed Schaefer jersey. And
Might be the person with a Reed Schaefer jersey.
I think he's the only one. I don't know, but he's very excited for this matchup tonight, revenge game. And then I like this from Alex. This got me hyped. We don't just watch the Oilers. We stand with them. Every hit, every rush, every goal is backed by the city that never quits. This is heart wrapped in blue and orange. Make it loud, make it proud. Let's go. Give it up for Alex. At your service, Alex. At your service. Brady also said the boards man. The boards man gets paid. A shout out to one Kawhi Leonard. So we got a great evening ahead of you. Me, Zach, obviously the voice you heard behind is one producer, Brett Holden. But we also have another person with us in 2026. We got our new intern here at Oilers Nation. Shout out Tristan. You guys probably all know him as Sergeant Battle in the chat, but yeah, he's with us and he's gonna be riding shotgun for, I think, the majority of at least the next 4 months of 2026. Post. He's gonna help us out with pregame and after dark. He actually requested to work on the show, which is, brother, you don't know what you're in for now.
Oh, he's already been here for 8 hours.
Yep.
He's gonna be here for 12. Welcome to the shit show, brother.
Buckle up, buckaroo, when you volunteer for this one, but it's the greatest job in the world. So he's going to be helping out with all kinds of stuff. And we have a new addition to Oilersnation After Dark that I want to mention on pregaming because somebody in the chat actually already took advantage of it. So we've added something really cool. We're going to be doing a voicemail page on Oilers Nation After Dark because I want to hear from you, the viewer. Oilers Nation's kind of built on, by the people, for the people. So why don't we actually get some Nation citizens on the show? So Brett will drop a link in the Oilers Nation After Dark chat. You go in there. It's very simple in the days of smartphones. Hop in there. You can record it. It gets left. Our intern, Tristan, is going to have to listen to these before because we're not just playing anything. So keep it PG. I will say no offensive words. You can say fuck, shit, bitch, all you want, go nuts, but let's keep it respectful. And then that's PG. That's still PG. That's my version.
PG-13.
That's PG, whatever. Just keep it semi-appropriate. You know how it is. Feel free to rip some F-bombs if it adds on to it. But once again, try and make a point. Maybe something you want us to discuss. Maybe something that you're an Oilers fan, you're watching the game and you're sitting there going, man, did anybody else notice that? Now you have your opportunity to literally have your voice heard on the Oilers Nation shows. And I'm really excited for that one. And also, me helping us get some post-game audio on ONAD as well. But Battle put it in the Oilers Nation Discord earlier today, and our boy Dre, one of our most loyal guys in the chat, he actually already got in there and he dropped one in. So Brett, why don't we take a listen to the inaugural voicemail on the page?
Hold on, it's coming in.
Oh, he's taking a minute. Zach, you excited about the voicemail idea?
Yeah, I am. I'm really excited.
Cool.
It actually coincides well with the letters to the editor column that I've started up on Sundays. I'll talk more about that later, though.
By the people, for the people, we the people. Brett, let's take a listen to Dre.
What up, Bordzy? What up, everybody on Oilers Nation After Dark? I was just wondering, Bordzy, how much are you on Liam's train for Jared McCann? And if you are not on that train, who are you looking for as a forward for us to get prior to the playoffs and obviously the trade deadline this year?
That's a good question. That's exactly what I'm looking for. And there's something that kind of sparks some discussion. To that answer, I would say, no duh, I'm in on Jared McCann. I think everybody would be. He's a $5 million cap hit the rest of this year and one more year next year. I just don't think that Seattle's really all that willing to be selling guys, let alone their number one goal scorer and I'd say best player in one Jared McCann. But a man can always dream. I also believe I think Seattle's 7-3-0 in their last 10, so they're definitely not giving up at any point. And I guess the second part of your question is who is anybody else that I'd be interested in? It's tough because we're so in the mushy middle, and I do believe that there's so many teams in the mushy middle, and I do believe that the schedule's so jam-packed for the rest of January until, 2 games in February, and then they're gone for 2.5 weeks. I think you're going to see a concerted effort from the majority of teams that are still in that middle to go for it. They got no reason to sell off now. And I think all these discussions of sellers will become much more clear after the Olympic break. As for other names, It's funny. I really just want Seattle to become bad. We kind of had this discussion at the office the other day of like, what team do you want to become ass so that you can start picking off their top players? Obviously, Buffalo would be one for Alex Tuck, your Tage Thompsons, but they don't look like they're going to be slowing down. Seattle's in that for me because it's not only Jared McCann, could be a Jordan Eberle. I do understand he wears the C for the team as well. And then if you even go to the back end, I mean, we talk about him every single year around the deadline. Jamie Alexiak's like your perfect playoff edition veteran, third pairing, big guy. I believe he's a UFA at the end of the season. So yeah, I want McCann. I just don't know how realistic that would be. I say somebody in the chat, Zachary, you've probably heard the rumors. Jake DeBrusk, question mark. A man can dream. And we love a local boy story here at Oilers Nation.
Yeah, we absolutely do. DeBrusk would be a really interesting one. I mean, the Oilers had tons of interest in him before he signed his extension with the Vancouver Canucks. I think that's certainly an interesting one. McCann, I'd love him. I think he'd be a great fit. Third line center. He can produce some offense down there. I think I almost wonder if they look a little bit more towards the wings, though. They've already got Henrique. They've got Curtis Lazar there. I think Lazar could be a good 4C for this team moving forward, right? So we look at some of the other wingers around the league, and some people may not like this one, but Blake Coleman from the Calgary Flames would be an unbelievably good pickup for the Oilers. $4.9 million on the cap. He's got a year left after this one. 13 goals, 21 points in 42 games played this year. Last year, 15 goals, 39 points in 82 games played. He's a bit of an older guy. He's a vet. He may not have the quickest boots anymore, but what he does really well is he moves the puck, right? And he's a scorer. So I think he's somebody that could certainly fit in that bottom six. He's got some experience in the Cup Finals with the Tampa Bay Lightning as well. Got on a run or two with them. I think there's a lot of interesting names out there. And of course, we'll have to keep in mind too that look what the Oilers did last year. Nobody was expecting Jake Wallman to be traded, right? So there's a very good chance that there's somebody out there that the Oilers might have in mind that maybe nobody's talked about or thought about yet.
Just acquired Coleman and Chell.
Hey, attaboy. And once again, Blake Coleman, you think the Oilers are lacking depth scoring in the bottom six, and Blake Coleman's been a bona fide, double-digit goal scorer, I will say, for quite some time. But then I have that same worry. I'm like, is that just once again the Oilers messing around with that same mushy middle of forwards like an Arvidsson, like a Skinner, like a Mangiapane, and then you're just trying it out with another guy? But I don't know. You can't just stop trying because it hasn't worked with other dudes before. We've seen Jack Ralzovic step into this team, and he's been able to find some secondary scoring. I see also this one made me laugh from Cheeks Clap. We love a local boy until we trade both of them to the Pens. And then somebody said, I don't think Stu agrees that we love a local boy. Fair enough. I love a local boy. I will say that. Brett, any names that jump out to you that you're interested?
Ooh.
So, because I have this argument that for the Oilers, right? So, because of Nuge's versatility, so we kind of said it on ONE. What's your hierarchy of, is it top six winger, depth, third line center, or defenseman type thing? And because of Nuge's versatility, the Oilers could go out and acquire a top six winger and then move Nuge down to play the 3C. But I think the cost of acquisition on that top line winger would definitely be higher than if you just kept Nuge in that spot. We know he's productive. He's a point per game guy this year. And then do you just maybe try a less expensive acquisition in the bottom six? But mulling this over all day inside my head.
See, I absolutely despise the bottom six right now. So I think getting somebody who can not just be a guy who is a plug and play bottom six guy, but he's going to contribute. So for me, I just want somebody who can come in and contribute on the bottom six. I am a Alex Tuck truther as well. I do like Alex Tuck, and honestly, my absolute dream is same team is Tage Thompson. I know that's a dream, fever dream.
Hey, pre-gaming's about optimism and positivity.
If it can happen, it can happen. Honestly, I haven't thought too much of specific targets at this point, just because there seems like so much, and now that we're kind of starting to identify some of the guys that may not be in the lineup or doesn't or are kind of the surplus right now, aka Mangiapane, what do you do with Frederick, all this kind of stuff, and then you kind of you go from there. Because again, I think that the big move that is going to solve the problem, and you can't see me and put the quotations in, that you're looking for isn't going to happen tomorrow. I think you're going to have to accrue. You're going to have to get a couple compensation things for Mangiapane.
Get Mangi out the door, step one.
Yeah, basically. And then just go from there. So I don't know.
And getting him out the door might just be the effort to activating Jake Wallman. Well, the Oilers are up against the cap.
That's the thing. They need to get healthy. they need to get healthy, see what they really do have. Kapanen's good first start. Get Wallman in there, and then you can see what you can move and go from there. I don't have anyone specific.
Absolutely. Quick shout out, Nation Vacation. Coming up, we are in 2026, people, and it's March. It's 3 months away. We're going to be back in Sin City. There you see it, nationgear.ca. We've got a variety of packages available. Travel, have it your way. Save your spot today with just a 20% deposit. Come on down to Sin City. But back to the ice. As for tonight, the Oilers taking on the Predators, and the Oilers trying to snap a 2-game losing streak that they are on right now. They've yet to win 3 in a row all season. I don't want to lose 3 in a row right now. They lost 6-2 to Boston, and then obviously 5-2 to the Philadelphia Flyers on Saturday afternoon, which was it was just a very disappointing performance. There was just struggles up and down the lineup. I think the Oilers' second line, they got outworked. They were outscored 0-2, outshot 7-3. Got those numbers from my boy Zach Laing's article. We hyped up the kid line as we do. We're all about optimism on Pregaming. And then, of course, they got caved in. Outshot 7-1, outscored 1-0. It was just an overall bad performance from the Edmonton Oilers. Calvin Pickard definitely left some to the imagination. And Zach, they are now 5-11 in regular season afternoon weekend games over this season and last year. Hey, it is what it is. There's always going to be some rough spots. I'm just curious, Zach, your takeaways after the Philly game. Because I wasn't happy. And obviously combined with the loss to the Boston Bruins, the Oilers definitely didn't play their best game. I'll feel a lot better if you go out there and grab a W tonight, because that's kind of the argument at the end of the day, right? You're always going to lose games. The Boston Bruins are a playoff team. The Philadelphia Flyers are a playoff team. But the difference of the Oilers being a contender to just a playoff team is, hey, you're going to lose games. You're going to lose 2 in a row. It's really about stopping the bleeding and not having it become a 3-game losing streak, 4-game, 5-game, and that kind of thing. Obviously, we'll get into the Predators a little bit more. Really bad start to the season. They have found their legs recently, but this is a matchup for the Oilers. They should walk away with the W. I believe they're heavily favored on Bet365. But Zachary, how you feeling about the current state of the Edmonton Oilers?
A little concerned right now. I mean, it was a great month of December leading up to the Christmas break. Not so great ending of December, and not such a great start to 2026. 1-3 coming out of the Christmas break here. Not a great game against the Calgary Flames. Not a terrible game either. The Winnipeg Jets game, defensively, the Oilers had a solid game. Pickard really stole that one for them, it felt like, right? The Jets had 43 shots on goal.
He goalied the Jets.
He absolutely goalied the Jets. Nice to be on this side of one of those for a while, right?
Have it up.
That's pretty sweet, right? The Bruins game, that sucked. The Flyers game, that sucked. Not great. Got to win tonight, right? Got to figure out a way to, as you mentioned, it's just a 2-game losing streak, but you want to stop the bleeding right there, right? Because the Oilers do have a pretty nice schedule through the rest of this month here. A lot of home games here. They got to figure out a way to kind of get themselves back on track in the win department.
We see it there on the screen. The Oilers, they play a total of 15 games in January, 11 of which are at home. I went on this rant the other day on Pregaming, but I think you look at the next 8-9 games. I'm pretty sure the Oilers are going to be favored in every one of them on Bet365. You combine that with home ice in cold ass Edmonton, even though for as bad as the roads are, it's not that cold out right now. We're enjoying a nice little walk earlier, Brett. I'll leave it at that. Also, somebody mentioned in this, and I guess it needs to be said, that it's the Diddy Bowl tonight because it's the Oil versus the Predators. Also, if you caught Tyler Remchuk's lead earlier today on O&E, I'll fill you in later. It was all-time shit. Also, Super Chat in. Reminder, all your Super Chats are in support of the Ben Stelter Foundation, a cause that does awesome stuff over the Christmas break. They had Ben's Cup, 2 tiers. The Oilersnation tier was one of them. They also had some curling going down, but it's our Queen Tammy, $10. She's apologetic. Says, my donation from the last train wreck. Stick taps hearts for Ben always. And Zachary, talk about the Oilers needing to get a W this evening, and luckily for them, reinforcements are coming down the pipe as Kasperi Cheeks Kapanen will be returning to the lineup tonight after missing the last 36 games with injury this season. He's been out with a lower body injury. Remember, it happened, I believe, October 19th versus Detroit, and then he was struggling with that lower body. We all remember the video. He came out back at practice, had a setback, took it out on the entire stick rack out on the bench. He actually had an interview where he kind of mentioned, really hated that all you guys saw that. I really hated that I saw myself doing that type of thing, but he was pissed, man. And it was a setback that then had him miss an additional 15 games on top of that. But now, after weeks of hype, the return is real. There you get a look on the screen of his career numbers with the Edmonton Oilers. Love that hits per 60. You think the Oilers, once again, they could use everything in the bottom six, but tonight, Cheeks is going to be starting in the top six, second line with Leon Draisaitl and one Vasily Podkolzin, a trio that's played a fair amount together. We remember last year when Kapanen joined, he found success with Leon and Podkolzin, which furthermore just goes to show the point that Leon Draisaitl can do anything with absolutely anyone. But then in the playoffs, they showed some good numbers as well. They played 37 minutes, that trio, at 5v5, and had an expected goals for percentage of 58.69. I do think eventually, nice. I wouldn't be surprised if we did see a Jack Roslovic Kapanen swap in just that sense. We heard it come out of Nobby's mouth recently that you want to play your best players with your best players. I like this from Nobby, that this is clearly he's trying to say, Cap, let's get you going. Let's get you rolling with Leon Draisaitl. And once again, there is plenty of chemistry there. Our boy Cheeks caught up with the media. I believe it was on Sunday. Yeah, I believe it was Sunday, talking about his recovery process coming back from injury and what he hopes to bring to the lineup. Bert, let's take a listen.
Yeah, it's never fun to be out of the lineup, and obviously hurting it in practice is very frustrating, but I think mentally probably the hardest part is to kind of just not be on the ice and not go on the road with the team and just the life that you're used to throughout the year. And but if there's ever a time to be hurt, my wife's pregnant right now, so I've been trying to help her out as much as I can. So I guess it's kind of a blessing in disguise. It feels like 3 years, to be honest. So it's been a while, and it's nice to be back and just in the locker room with the guys and kind of chit chat and obviously be on the ice and competing. So just a lot of positive things right now. I mean, obviously a lot of our game is based around Leon and Connor and those first and second line and the power play, obviously. And I think the bottom six at times has been playing well and has producing, and sometimes it's hard. Hockey's hard, and that's for every team. That's every team's bottom six. It's hard to score goals sometimes. So I think once we get that going and listen, it's not like I'm the answer to all the problems, but obviously I'm going to try to bring a lot of excitement and energy and physicality, and if I score a goal or two while doing that, then that's just bonus.
You tell me that guy's not Canadian? There's no accent whatsoever when it comes to Kasperi Kapanen. You wouldn't know it. Also, Bob Stoffer's in it. Says, Prego, congrats. Zachary, what did you just say to me while the interview was playing?
Congrats on the sex, Cappy.
Clap it up. Clap it up. Attaboy. There's never an ideal time to get injured, but definitely when you're going through that.
Sorry?
Well, I'm saying that he was getting prepped. He's getting prepped for the baby.
I did not
There you
think
go. He's
that's what
building
he
cribs.
was. Didn't think you were saying it's a good time to get injured.
Or
when
we
you're
also said that, I mean, you want to leave the house, go to your rehab stints.
Yeah.
Ah,
sorry, honey. My hip.
Lower body injury. But Zachary, Cheeks is back in the lineup. I think he's a sight for sore eyes. He will play in the top six tonight with Leon and Pods. What are you expecting from Kasperi Kapanen?
Not a ton.
Some energy is what I want.
Some energy.
Some speed and some energy.
Some speed, little physicality. He likes to lay the body a little bit, evidently. I think offensively, he's got some upside to him, right?
That's
like
good.
he chipped in with some goals last year. Obviously had the big goal against the Golden Knights to finish that series off. So not expecting a ton from him tonight. I like the idea of getting him back up there in the top six. He played with Draisaitl last year a little bit, looked pretty good up there too. So I don't mind him getting some time in the top six.
Cheeks, it feels good to just say his name again. Once again, he's missed the last 36 games with injury. Good to have him back. And if Kasperi Kapanen is going to be, or he has been activated, and he will be in the lineup, Edmonton's lack of depth scoring has been quite noted in the lack of anything coming from the bottom six. I feel like we as fans are kind of at our wits' end, and who knows, Chris Knobloch might be as well. As we expect both Andrew Mangiapane and Trent Frederick to be healthy scratches in tonight's hockey game. Oh boy, that's not a good sight to see. I mean, it's a necessary step. Once again, we know Andrew Mangiapane, he's fallen out of order here in the Oilers roster. There you get a look at their stats, both of them throughout the season. Andrew Mangiapane, hey, looks good next to Trent Frederick, as Freddie has 2 goals, 1 assist. I'll tell you, he has the exact same stat line as Ike Howard in 23 games more than one Ike Howard. It's been disappointing for both of these guys. The Trent Frederick situation, hey, we know it. I could wish I had to use a better phrase, but we are stuck with it for the time being. We're just going to have to figure out a way to play his way out of it, but you're definitely not going to do that up in the press box. I'll be stuck between a rock and a hard place. But when it comes to the other guy, in one Andrew Mangiapane, the rumors, Zachary, they've been swirling. Obviously, he's been health bombed repeatedly in the last week or so. There's rumors about he could be dealt to Anaheim. He could be dealt to Columbus. I've maybe even possibly heard Detroit as well. We've heard the Ryan Strome rumor out of Anaheim, which I don't understand, because there's for the Oilers to activate Jake Wallman and then Tristan Jarry down the road, they got to clear up some cap space somehow. So in this, I guess it's a win-win situation for Mangiapane. I think right now it's not working for him in the Oilers system. There's not a spot for him. He's in other younger players' way, you might say, like a guy like a Hudson or a Howard. And I don't want to be a dick about this, but it's like, I don't care what the return is. As long as it's a bag of pucks, future considerations, cash considerations. I think it's just a little bit of addition by subtraction, if you're picking up what I'm laying down. And obviously it hasn't been working out here. And I think by the rumors that he's willing to move his no movement clause, that, yeah, this is a marriage that might be ending sometime soon. And then the argument that Hart Levine from Puckpedia made on ONE today was that the idea, if you want to get out of Mangiapane's money earlier than later, because of the fact that the Olympics are coming up, and that if you're under the salary cap during the Olympics, you can accrue money for those 2.5, 3 weeks, and that would be beneficial for the Oilers come the deadline. You're pinching every single penny. Obviously, Freddie's situation hasn't worked. We'll leave it at that. But the Andrew Mangiapane one, Zachary, you thinking there might be a deal coming down the pipe? I don't know when, but I feel like no matter what, it's coming.
I'll put it to you this way. It has to be coming. There's really no other way around it. Like, the Oilers cannot be cap compliant when Tristan Jarry is ready to come off of LTIR, because the team placed him there today. Gregor wrote in the GDB today around the 17th, 18th, somewhere in that ballpark for Jarry's return. So the Oilers got to figure something out here, right? I don't really see a world where, like, unless it's a player making league minimum or like under $1 million, that they'd be willing to lose on waivers potentially. I don't see a player for player swap making a ton of sense here.
Give me a 6th round pick, slightly refill the cupboard.
Yeah, 100%. It's going to be like a mid to late round draft pick here at most that the Oilers are going to get back. So I think you made a good point. Addition by subtraction. Mangiapane, I liked the signing a lot. I was excited about it, right? There were some concerns about his game, obviously, in the last year or two here. 3 years removed from shoulder surgery. He hasn't really been the same player since that point in time, right? I don't think anybody expected it to go this way, right? I mean, this is the second year in a row that the Oilers have had some pretty brutal signings on July 1st that have really not worked out well for this team. Yeah, swing and a miss, right? I mean, it's been pretty brutal. So they got to figure out a way to get out of this money to be cap compliant. So it's got to come sooner rather than later.
I think I like the idea of Andrew Mangiapane more than I actually like Andrew Mangiapane, because once again, it's this thing that the Oilers have done for a couple of seasons now, where you kind of get a veteran back half of their career type guy, and you think you can just throw him in the bottom 6 and he'll find a way to figure it out. For some reason, that continues to not happen for the Oilers. Quickly now, the enemy tonight, the Nashville Predators, the recently rejuvenated Predators, I guess I could say. They're 7-3-0 in their last 10 games, and they're actually 3 points out of the final wild card spot. Zach, it's a complete 180 from where they started the season. There you get a look at their numbers overall, Brett. The moment you pointed out to me, you're right. The Oilers are always leading in goals for and power play and losing in goals against and penalty kill.
I did a double take today because it was 332 and to 336. I went, but nope. Trent still stays.
No, but at the beginning of the year, right, for the Preds, it was ugly losses, ugly post-game interviews, ugly stats. And of course, everybody has discussed the possibility of a rebuild in Nashville. And then basically, since December on, this team's kind of caught fire. They have gone 11-5 over that stretch. And now they are officially up above 500 at 19-18-4. big part of the turnaround. Steven Stamkos has completely found his game now in this season. He only had 5 points in his first 22 games of the season, and now he has 23, 14 of which were goals in his last 19 games. He's kind of leading from the front for this Predators team. He also scored 6 game-winning goals in December, which tied the NHL record for most in a single month. Finally kind of being the $8 billion player that they wanted him to be. Zachary, they look much differently than they have from the start of the season, but this will be the first matchup between the Oilers and Preds. I will remind you, the Oilers went 3-0 against the Predators last season. They got UC Saros. We expect and should know in just a couple minutes if he's going to be the starter, but this Predators team, not nearly as bad as they were to start the year.
Yeah, it's been a real turnaround for them. They've kind of been red hot here as of late. Steven Stamkos, a big part of that, right? Offensively, he's been really finding his game. And back to the Steven Stamkos goal scorer that we all knew and loved him to be for so long with the Tampa Bay Lightning. So really interesting team there. You know, it could still fall off for them very, very easily. And I think they have some pieces that could be extremely valuable on the trade market. Steven Stamkos, if they do fall out of it, right? Especially with the resurgence that he's had. You know, they've got some other forwards too. Luke Evangelista, a guy who's really stepped up for them this season. Ryan O'Reilly, that'd be an interesting one, of course, too, right? You know, on the blue line, some more depth kind of defensemen that are solid too. Guys like Nick Perbix, Nick Blankenberg, another guy who's been really good for them this year. So they have some interesting pieces. They've certainly turned it around here. Let's see what they do over the next 2 months here, though.
Jari for Saros, one up, 1 for 1. Let's go. See who says it.
That's the old paperclip to a house right there, right?
Come on, try it. Backyard Burgers, we love you. I love your t-shirt you gave me. Says not a lot separating them stats wise. And then Dave said it actually hurts that those stats are so close. UC Saros also confirmed for the Nashville Predators this evening. Let's go now. Need to know info brought to you by Will Huck Beef Jerky. Because only the finest tasting meat products earn that Will Huck name. Made from 100% Alberta beef. Their jerky is aged, seasoned, smoked, and marinated to savory perfection. They gladly fill orders of any size, and you can find their jerky, sausage, and other products out of their Leduc location. So, Brett, it's not confirmed yet, but you maybe just want to throw up what we saw and what we expect the lines to be. We'll confirm them in just a couple minutes. But there you see it. Top line, Nuge, McDavid, Hyman. And it's Pods, Dry, and Cheeks Clappinen. Ike Howard with Adam Henrique and Jack Roslovic. Fourth line of Matthias Janmark, Curtis Lazar, and Matt Savoy. We expect Monge, Freddie to be healthy scratches. And then Hudson was actually sent back down to Bakersfield. Deep pairings, Ekholm, Bush, Nurse with Reggie. Stastny, revenge game with one Ty Emberson. So Kapanen, he's back in the lineup, activated from LTIR. Jake Wallman was also practicing with the Edmonton Oilers yesterday. He was out on the ice, took part in a full skate. He was on a fourth pairing with one Riley Stillman. We obviously know Wallman hasn't played since November 20th against Tampa Bay. He fractured his foot in that game. He has been out for quite some time now. He has now missed, or he's only played in 17 of the Oilers' 42 games this year. You gave up a first-round pick for him last year. He's fully worthy of that pick, but best ability is availability and can't be overstated. The Oilers desperately need Jake Wallman to come back into their lineup. And the Oilers against Nashville, 8-1-1 in their last 10 games, outscoring them 44-22. They have 2 extra Predators in their last 10 games. They're 3-1 at home in this stretch. And then Leon, we all know his numbers. Brett, we'll save it for just a second on the graphic. He owns the Predators. He is the mayor of Nashville. It cannot be argued. Connor Ingram going to start for the Oilers. 2 straight losses after 2 wins. And in his career against Nashville, he's 3-2-2, but he has a .396 goals against with an .887 save percentage. Let's move on to the Predators. They own a 19-18-4 record. Brett, you want to throw up that head-to-head, actually, those numbers once again, because they are close in some of those categories. But Nashville, they rank 23rd in goals for per game, nowhere close to the Edmonton Oilers. They rank 15th on the power play at 20.2%. And then goals against, I believe, I forget where they rank, but PK, that's the one. They're top 10 in the NHL, 8th in the league. We know the Oilers power play, number 1, not even close. Ryan O'Reilly, you just mentioned him. He technically leads the Predators in points, 11 goals, 24 apples, 35 points in 41 games played. Stamkos, though, leads the team in goals with 18 of them. Then we just got confirmation UC Saros is expected to be the starter for these Nashville Predators in the Diddy Bowl, as everybody keeps saying it into the chat. Let's go now. Shout out our friends from Oodle Noodle. Download the app today on the Google Play Store or the App Store. Boys, I'm thinking we're going to be ordering some Oodle Noodle this evening. We're not down at Dog Patch. Yeah, that was how I got him to commit to do the show.
Oh, well, don't break promises.
That's how you get him.
Nobody tell Bordzy that he has to do Oodle Noodle for me to commit to the show. I love being here.
Hey, I'll be real. I met him in the middle because I also want Oodle Noodle this evening. Maybe even Battle will get his first Oodle Noodle experience with the boys. Should be a good time. Also seeing Kasperi Kapanen out on the ice, letting us fly out there. No Bucky at warm up. He's looking good. But Bert, why don't you throw up the DFO lines? I guess while we wait. Actually, yeah, it has Andrew Mangiapane on the DFO is us. They were slacking. It frustrated me today on Oilers Nation every day. Still waiting for exact confirmation. They have just hit the ice now. Oh, there we go.
Lines
they actually
just
did.
Came out
27 seconds ago.
They're the same.
They are the
as to
exact
be
same.
expected.
As to be expected. So the one guy that we got to talk about anytime it comes to a game against the Nashville Predators is Leon Draisaitl, the mayor of Smashville. It's been well documented, but he absolutely owns the Predators. There you got to look at his numbers in his career against the Preds. 27 goals, 21 apples, 48 points in 29 career games played. That is absolutely insane. I will say, for some reason, he's better on the road against the Predators. He's better in their building, but Leon Draisaitl, let's say it, since the Christmas break and maybe even a little bit before that, he's kind of cooled down a little bit recently. I think he has only scored in one of his last 13 hockey games.
Scored 3 goals that game.
He scored 3 goals in that hockey game, so he definitely made up for it in that one. Since Christmas, he has been -6, which, hey, whatever you want to take with that number, whatever it is, what it is. But there you see it, 83 shots, 29 games, 15 power play goals. I think this is exactly what the doctor ordered for Leon Draisaitl. Not that I'm sitting here complaining about the level of his play. You'll never catch me doing that about Connor or Leon Draisaitl. But hey, this could be a little bit of spark. I'll never understand why. I've talked to Doobie about it, Devin Dubnyk, and why do you play better against some teams in some buildings rather than others? Is it simply the color scheme out on the jersey? He said there might have been something to that, but they don't know. You just feel good and take advantage when you're up against an opponent that you have 48 points in 29 games against. Zachary. Leon Draisaitl, the mayor of Smashville, for a reason.
Yeah, he's been okay against them, I guess. It's fine. And Gregor had it in the GDB today, too. 21 goals and 39 points in his last 15 games against the Predators. It's been unbelievable, right? I loved Gregor's headline today for the GDB. He had texted me. He said, hey, if you want to come up with something different, go ahead. But I was like, no, Draisaitl is Nashville's daddy. So we let it run. Just hilarious, right? I mean, there's few examples of a player who is so dominant against a single team in the NHL. And for whatever reason, man, Draisaitl just loves to play the Nashville Predators.
I'm not going to argue it. I'm just going to bet on it. Responsibly, 19. Actually, Zach, so you had mentioned, you had even texted me saying that Leon is Nashville's daddy. You can say it now. We can also revisit it again in Bet365. Tell the people what your play is tonight, because I'm riding with.
Laddered up to a hat trick, Leon Draisaitl goals tonight.
So you're going to bet on 1 goal. Then you're going to bet on 2+ goals. Then you're going to bet on 3+ goals. Because when you know, and you smell that, that's fear in the air. The Predators scared of one Leon Draisaitl. It also smells like money.
Smells like money.
That is not legally binding. Do so responsibly. 18+ at 1 bet.
There's no logos.
All right, let it rip.
We're winning it all.
I'm gonna be rich.
Woo! Okay.
Too much. Responsibly. 19+, of course. And then also the other side of it, Spencer Stastny, revenge game against the Nashville Predators, slated to suit up against his former team. There you're going to look at his numbers this year with the Predators. 30 games, 9 points. He's played 11 now. That's crazy to think he's played 11 games for the Oilers. Time flies when you're having fun over the Christmas break. But we know he was acquired from Nashville in exchange for a 3rd-round pick in 2027 as a move to kind of offset the Brett Kulak trade over to the Pittsburgh Penguins. And I think Stastny has done an admirable job thus far. Not only, I mention it every single time, Does he have a comic book superhero jawline type guy? But he's been pretty good. I'll keep saying it. His skating, his wheels, it is what sets him above other defensemen. And that's definitely what helps him get out of some bad moments. He's played over 20 plus minutes in 2 of his last 5 games. We've always been debating it. Nobby's not going to do it. I don't understand why Alec Regula is still on the second pair with Darnell Nurse, why we continue to smash our head against a brick wall and expect that wall to budge. But either way, I digress. It can be a big one for Stastny. He played 81 games in his career with the Predators. He was a 7th-round draft pick from the Predators. And he also, Brett, we have a clip, caught up talking to the media recently, talking about the emotions he's feeling and the friends he has out there on the opposition. Brett, let's take a listen.
Yeah, this will be a special one. Definitely seen a lot of the guys, coaches, staff. I'm sure I'll run into them. So, yeah, it's, gosh, not even that long ago. Probably a few weeks I've been here, it seems like. So it's going to be a special one, but hopefully we can get the win here.
Usually when you play former teammates, you know, it's almost more, it's like your family. You want to beat your brothers for sure. Which one of your former teammates do you expect to chirp you the most or try to run you the most?
Yeah, I was real close to guys in the back end, but I'm sure Evangelista will have something to say to me. But no, I'm still tight with all those guys, so yeah, it's going to be a fun game every shift, just going out there with guys I know and guys I love. So, yeah, it's I know I've never experienced it before, but I'm looking forward to it.
Pretty sure he said gosh at some point in the interview, and my ears perked up, and I was like,
Gosh.
is he not cursed? I'll take your share, Spencer. It's fine. Zachary, revenge game, plus 2,000 for an anytime goal tonight. No, right? No. No. But Spencer Stastny, revenge game, obviously, emotions a little bit more. I like that the broadcast probably going to have their eyes out on maybe some friendly banter between Stastny and his old teammates. But thoughts on the revenge game?
I may have sprinkled on a Spencer Stastny goal.
I'm about to right now.
I threw a couple
Oh
bucks
no,
on
I'm
it.
in.
Oh, no.
Responsibly.
Of course.
My money.
I've liked him so far. You know, smooth skating defenseman. I think we need to see a larger sample of work to really get a good feel for this guy, but I like it. You know, I think this is a guy the team certainly had an eye on, right? And for a little while here, you know, the fact that they were able to make that trade at the same time as the Skinner Jari trade, that tells me they've been watching his game for a while here, right? So I like him so far. Some solid numbers from him so far. Let's see what he can do in the long run. And you know, on the Alec Regula note, I have been noted in my distaste for Alec Regula so far this season. One thing that I will say is underlying numbers have been really tremendous. And the luck statistic, PDO, has been really low for him. So really poor luck the Oilers are having with him on the ice. That's something that is always bound to rebound. So let's see if we can get some luck flowing the way of Alec Regula here.
I don't want to be thrown in the Alec Regula try that again.
Take two.
The Alec Regula hater category because, dude, I want him to be good. He's an Oilers defenseman. He's a guy that clearly Stan Bowman has had his eye on when they acquired him after an injury and the 2-year thing and all this. I just don't think he's a top 4 guy yet right now. That's not to say he won't be there, but I feel like he should be treated like how we did Ty Emerson last year, where he's kind of in and out a little bit. You're working him along as he goes. Brett?
Here's the thing I know there's been a lot of change of discourse around Alec Regula lately. My current thoughts are, I don't give a fuck.
You've been consistent.
I will be there because if y'all were doing that to Vinny Desharnais, I'm going to be doing it to Alec Regula. Brother, I'm sorry, but the other people brought you in the crosshairs, so I don't give a fuck.
And I don't think I don't think people were that mean to Vinny Desharnais, but he's in a third pairing role, and this is like Reggie. It's like, it's not his fault. I don't think he should be in the spot. They continue to keep doing it. He's trying his best out there.
Absolutely the GOAT right now. Like, he is a GOAT for it. So, like, sorry, Alec.
Hey, Alec, we love you. We hope it's going to work out. It's going to work out. It's just, hey, this is becoming an NHL defenseman. You're going to have these growing pains. Enough on that. Start a goaltender report. Shout out to Dog Patch. We're going to be back on Saturday, January 10th here, coming up this Saturday, as the Oilers take on the LA Kings. Should be a good one down at Dog Patch, a late one. Brett, feel like I should Uber in for that one. Something tells me I should Uber in for that one.
Nasty.
Let's go, Dog Patch. They got an unreal menu. They also had the entire staff for an entire staff meeting down there today. New menu items?
Ooh.
Possibly.
Ooh.
I know. All right, throw it up, Brett. Tail the tape between the two goaltenders. Saros is confirmed for the Predators. Connor Ingram, he's getting the start. 2-2-0 record, 328 with an 883 save percentage. Saros, 293, 896. He is above 500, 16, 13, and 2 on the season. So for Connor Ingram, I mean, I've been consistent in this as well. I think Nobby until Tristan Jarry, which we're being told could be middle of January. I think you're just playing the hot hand between Calvin Pickard and Connor Ingram. And it's if you win and you play well, you keep the net. If you don't, you're going to lose it. Calvin Pickard, not that great, I will say, Saturday against the Philadelphia Flyers. Stopped 24 of 28. So, hey, you're out. Connor Ingram's in. Just like the game before, Connor Ingram wasn't anything special against Boston. Allowed 6 goals on 29 shots. And that put Picks in the spot. I think you just roll between these two. You let them duke it out for that. We've talked about it a lot. Hey, whoever is the one that grabs this job right now between these two is probably going to be the backup once again for Calvin Pickard. I guess the one thing when the Oilers are so cap crunched, he is technically slightly cheaper than one Connor Ingram when they are pinching pennies the way they are. Connor Ingram, he's going to get the start this evening going against Saros, who I don't mean this. I say this jokingly, but I said it to Brett earlier and I went, you see Saros washed? He's 30 years old, Zachary. He's born in 1995. My body's starting to hurt. Is your body starting to hurt?
It is, but I'm also entering the prime of my life. So that's what I'm just telling myself and reminding myself of all the time as I have all my aches and pains. But yeah, it's kind of been a weird year for him, a weird couple of years.
And I'll say so I looked at it, his entire career, the first 8 seasons in the NHL, he was well above a 900 save percentage. And I don't want to be a box score hunter, but that is that. You can also take into account NHL shooters have gotten better. There's more goals. Everybody's save percentage has gone down over that 8-year stretch, I guess 10-year stretch now. But the last 2 seasons, he had an 896 last year, an 896 this season. When I presented it to Brett, what did you say, Brett?
I don't remember.
He's playing in front of the Nashville Predators. And that basically they suck. And I was like, well, that's a fair argument. That's a fair argument. And then at the end of the day, I still want UC Saros to become an Edmonton Oiler. I don't think he's washed, but he's definitely having a down season after a down season last year. Zachary, thoughts on UC Saros? Do you still want him to be an Oiler?
I like Jarry. I want to see what Jarry can do here. I mean, let's see what this guy can do. Let's get some runway with him, and we can kind of go from there. I don't know. I mean, I think it would be fine. I'd be fine.
I say
with
that
it.
jokingly.
Like,
we're rolling with Jarry.
Like,
we know.
I did think for a while that he'd be a great pickup for the Oilers, right? He's had some struggles against Edmonton in his career, though, and I wonder why. 12 games played. He's got 3 wins. Hilarious thing about that. 2 of them are shutouts against the Oilers.
I'm pretty sure his save percentage is 909.
909 save percentage, 325 goals against average. Unfortunately, Connor Ingram has not had much success against Nashville in his career. 7 games played. He's got 3 wins, but a 396 goals against average and an 887 save percentage. So maybe not a bad night for the over tonight.
Let's get some goals. Let's get some entertainment. Specifically, 3 of them from one Leon Draisaitl will be very nice. Brett, anything to add?
No, guys, message you. I said, leave me alone. I'm trying to do something for socials. Fucking, you threw me under the bus there.
Let me throw you one more time.
Yeah.
The other than Connor Ingram, I like this argument. I think it was so many people on Oilers Nation every day. I can't remember anymore. I think it was Doobie who was saying it, but he was talking about that. One comparison of a Connor Ingram to one Calvin Pickard. We all know we have eyes, but you're just so much more confident and calm with Connor Ingram in the crease. We saw it a lot against Philadelphia there. I believe Calvin Pickard made that wraparound toe save on I forget who it was, and it was sick. It was awesome. The only reason that save looked so good is because he was so out of position on the other side and was able to come back. And there is just an argument that Connor Ingram appears to be more technical. It's only been 4 games of a sample size. Well, we know Calvin Pickard, there's some road hockey goalie in there, beer league style, whatever you want to say. It's definitely more exciting. But Connor Ingram, another thing that I'll add to him, he just reads plays very well. He always looks like he's trying to be ahead of the play and ahead of the puck, reading where it's going to be. And he doesn't often, I will say, view like he's late coming across side to side or doesn't catch that one over there. And that he's pretty focused for the most part. Obviously, started out amazing, 2 games, 2 wins. And then the last 2 games have definitely left something to the imagination. I'll put it that way. Let's go now. Check out the Predators lineup in the Diddy Bowl, brought to you by the Jasper Pond Hockey Tournament, which is coming up right away, January 23rd to the 25th. Registration is still open at nationgear.ca. It's an unbelievable time. We had We're at a company-wide producers meeting earlier today, talking about some cool things that they got planned content-wise. We know DJ Beat, Pete Blackburn, they're going down. You and I don't make the cut.
Yep.
I always have FOMO. But after today, what they were mentioning in the meeting, I was like, damn it, I want to be on some of that content.
When they said, all right, so on to the Jasper Pond hockey tournament, we're just going to talk about content and what they're going to do for this person who's sitting down. And I was almost waiting. It's like when you're in volleyball and you try out and you're like, did I make the team? Did I make the team?
Say my name.
Where's my name? They didn't say my name.
I didn't say my name either. But people, I highly recommend it. It's going to be an unreal time. Talking about nation vacations, they're unbelievable because you're with the entire staff. You're with all kinds of nation citizens. This is all of the Nation Network staff. You're getting Leafs Nation, Flames Nation, DFO, some Canucks Army, What Chaos. You're getting everything.
I've also, I went to the JPL for the first time in my life this past March. Beautiful time to go. And I have been itching to go back ever since. It is just one of the most beautiful areas in the world.
And how about Jasper? Once again, we know they went through some hard times a couple of years ago. Spend some of your hard-earned money out there. I highly recommend it. But all right, Bert, throw it up what we expect to be. We expect that the Predators are going 11-7 this evening. Top line, Philip Forsberg with Ryan O'Reilly and Luke Evangelista. Your second line, Rat Boy, Michael Bunting with Eric Holla and Steven Stamkos, the red hot Stammer. Third line, who knows what's going to be rolling through. Tyson Yost, Fedor Svechkov, and then look at him, Reed Schaefer, Ginger Beef with Michael McCarron and Cole Smith. Your deep pairings, Yossi with Perbix, Brady Shea with Adam Wilsby, Nicholas Haig with Nick Blankenberg, and Justin Barron, I believe, expected to be the seventh defenseman. Look at this lineup. I can't help it. My eyes go right to one Reed Schaefer. Spencer Stastny, you're not the only one playing in a revenge game this evening. Ginger Beef, we never got to see him play in an Oilers jersey. We all remember he was a 32nd overall draft pick, I believe, for the Edmonton Oilers back in 2022. I believe that would have been. Never played a game for the Oilers, was obviously dealt in the Matthias Ekholm trade, one that, hey, I don't regret anything in the Oilers getting the Viking and then going on back-to-back Stanley Cup Finals runs. But now, years later, Schaefer is in his first full season in the NHL. He's played 18 games. He has 4 goals, no apples. He's averaging 10-17 time on ice on the season. But I believe in his last 2 games, he hit 12 minutes. Who knows? Once an Oiler, always an Oiler, even if you never actually put on the jersey. I guess he did in his draft photo. That's enough for me right there. Ginger Beef, shout him out. Also shout out Wanye, because this is his Super Bowl, seeing Reed Schaefer come back to Edmonton.
Yeah, he's going to be wearing that Schaefer jersey all night long tonight. Yeah, it's kind of been a weird career, I guess, for him so far. You know, he goes back to Seattle after the Oilers draft him, 28 goals and 61 points, 55 games that year. He plays for the World Junior team, you know, toils away in the American Hockey League for 2 seasons. Not really doing a ton, you know, 7 goals and 21 points in 63 games in that first year. Not bad production, but the second year actually was fairly solid. 8 goals and 14 points in 19 games played. I think he had an injury in there that really shortened up his season. But starts the year in Milwaukee with the Admirals, their AHL team. Called up to the NHL. 4 goals and 18 games played for him. Boy, wouldn't some offense from the bottom 6 like that be nice?
Freddie, you could learn a thing or two.
Yeah, boy. Hey, holy smokes. Nonetheless, they're going to be interesting to see him out there tonight, see how he does.
You said you sprinkled on Spencer Stastny plus 2,000 revenge goal. Reed Schaefer plus 700 revenge goal.
I may have
sprinkled it. we're thinking the same.
Revenge narratives, guys. I can't nod.
They're addictive. That's what they are. Once again, you sprinkle responsibly. Only bet what you're willing to lose. We don't unit shame. You put whatever you want down on it. But yeah, Ginger Beef. It would be classic. I assume he's going to have a ton of friends and family, not Wanye, out in the stands for this hockey game. Yeah, because the only local boy we have left is Matt Savoy, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so. Okay,
yeah, according to Max Hers, who does a radio broadcast for the Predators, 38 friends and family at the game tonight, including his older brother, Graydon, who will see him play for the first time in the NHL tonight.
And Wanye.
And then there's Ma.
Wanye's going to be there like he's going to the DW meme from Arthur, like standing on the outside of the chain link fence, like watching the friends and family after the game, be like, oh, why can't I be there?
It'll be,
Can I get a hug? Can I get a pic?
it'll be like Dwight when whoever his girl Angela comes up and he's just like, oh, fuck. It'll be that.
Let's go now. Bordzy's Bankroll brought to you by Bet365. 19 plus. Please play responsibly. And I mean that thoroughly. Only bet what you are willing to lose. Throw it up for me, Bert. We're going for it this evening. Connor McDavid. Not one, not two, not three. 4+ shots on goal at plus 115. He's hit that in 4 of his last 5, and he's cleared it in 4 of his last 5. 6, 7, 1. 9 and 6 in his last game for shots on goal. And then Nooch, 2+. I like the line at minus 190. He's also hit this in 4 out of his last 5. That top line, they're the best in the NHL. Then he's the mayor. It's Leon Draisaitl, anytime goal, plus 110. He has 21 goals in his last 15 games against the Nashville Predators, 31 points over that stretch. It's simply his world. I am just living in it. And if you parlay these 3 together, that's a juicy plus 600. It's the Leon anytime that really gets this one going. Zachary, which of those 3 goal or bets do you like the most? And then, I mean, you've already mentioned several of the bets you got going on Bet365, but share with the class.
Yeah, I like the Leon anytime goal for obvious reasons. I like all 3 of them here, to be honest with you, though. But yeah, so had a little fun on the Bet365 streets tonight. Didn't bet more than I was willing to lose. What I did was I went a little heavier on Leon Draisaitl to score 1 goal, and then half of that amount I bet on him to score twice and for him to score 3 times. So long as he scores 1 goal tonight, I'll still end up actually profiting like a single $1 tonight on the streets. But boy, if he scores 2 or 3, it could be a pretty nice little night for me. And then of course, little sprinkle on the Reed Schaefer, right? Plus 700, sprinkled a little bit on Spencer Stastny at plus 2,000. And I may have parlayed a couple of those other ones together.
Let's sprinkle. I'm doing it right now. I got to get it on the revenge goal narrative because if that happens in front of me, I'm going to be furious and I didn't bet on it. Brett, any spiders? I also saw somebody earlier in the chat on ONE said they cooked up a spider.
Yeah, I saw
my
that
ears
too.
perked up and I was like, what you thinking, Tal? What you thinking?
I do have a spider. I have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9-legged, a little Chernobyl spider. McDavid 2+ points, Dry 3+ points, Nuge 1+ point, McDavid 4+ shots, Leon 3+ shots, Ev 1+ shots, Darnell and Eki 1+ block, and Leon to score 2 or more. I also did the little ladder play with Leon anytime goal and score 2 or more or 3 or more. And I also sprinkled on a little Spencer Stastny.
Revenge. It's the narrative this evening. So for that, yeah, you want the over. You want goals galore. I think Connor Ingram would like maybe an under, but actually no, the Oilers 8-1. I guess that leads me to score predictions, anytime goal scorers, gentlemen, and then we'll head on out. Got one more note to inform the people about the voicemail. But Zach, you're my guest. Who's scoring? It's Leon. What's the score prediction?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Leon. I'm gonna go with a 6-2 Edmonton Oilers. No, 6-3 Edmonton Oilers victory.
Nice. Brett, what about you?
I am too going with the Oilers. I will go with I like 6-2 too. That's a damn good call. Spencer Stastny, baby. Leon Draisaitl with 3 as well. I need a couple.
I'm going point night. I'm going. It's all about optimism. 8-1 for the Edmonton Oilers. Leon Draisaitl scores twice. I'm still laddering all 3, but I predict he's not going to get just 1. He's going to get 2. Shout out to Bet365. And then finally, just one more news and note that I want to say. The voicemail will be active for Oilers Nation After Dark. So you all know this event live right now. Conclusion of this show, Brett's going to create the Oilers Nation After Dark thing. We will pin the link to the voicemail at the top of the chat. So at the conclusion of the hockey game, I'd probably say wait till the hockey game, but once again, it's a voicemail. You put whatever you want in there. Intern Battle is going to comb through that stuff. Leave something PG-ish that we said, semi-respectable in there, and you could hear yourself and your take on Oilers Nation After Dark later. Hear what the people have to think about it, what me, Zach, and Brett have to think about it, and I just think it's an awesome little addition to the show here. We the people for the people. How? That'll do it for us. We're Pregaming with Bordzy, brought to you by Bet365. Good luck on the Bet365 Battlegrounds. Once again, we'll create that event in just a minute. Fire some takes off in the chat. Fire some off in the voicemail. We will be live right here for Oilersnation After Dark at the conclusion of this hockey game. Ginger Beef, I wish you well, but not too well. Spencer Stastny, I'll meet you at the cashier. Over and out. I love you all. Good luck. We'll talk in a bit.